Well, damn it all in shiitake mushrooms. Wouldn't you know I finally had a PCI failure? Kind of annoying. Oh, by the way, it's Joe. Sorry if you're hearing the fans, I have them ramped up a bit because I'm just testing stuff again. My top slot stopped working. Yesterday, after I concluded a bunch of testing using a GT1030 and I reinstalled the 1070, I was having some really bad video issues. So I went through the long process of testing all the different components, because this all started after I'd put in the different RAM and after I'd changed the graphics cards a couple of times, after I used a couple of different software, and it was really starting to frustrate me. I was this close, maybe that close, to doing a wipe and fresh install again of Windows, hoping that would solve it, as well as reflash the BIOS on the motherboard, which is the most current BIOS available, to see if that did anything. So I started, of course, with the RAM, took one stick out, tested it, put another stick in, started testing it. Then I started looking at the postcodes. It's hard to see when you have your graphics card mounted this way, but there is a postcode reader on this board, and it was coming up with a 62 error code, which is for display. I was also getting really bad artifacting with online video, but not native video on my computer, which didn't make any sense. So I reset the CMOS on the computer, hoping that would do something. It didn't work. So then I uninstalled the card, reinstalled it. But the one thing I never did was I didn't bother trying to take it from the top PCIe slot to any of the other slots on the motherboard, because I figured that couldn't possibly be the problem because it's been running flawlessly up to this point. It was the problem. Unfortunately, it was the problem. I don't know why. I don't really care. Luckily, I only won 1-1-1-1-1-0-1-1-1-1-0-0. I only run one video card, so it's not like I need to be running 3 video cards at 16, 8, and 8, or 16 and 16. I'm just using the one card, so I'm fine using one slot, and I should still get 16x even from slot number 3 when it's only populated by one card. It is annoying, but there's not much I can do since I bought that board secondhand. Technically, I could send it back to Amazon, but that's not the biggest problem in the world. Now, if other components fail on the board and I still have like 2 weeks left to test all the components, then I may have to send it back. But yeah, I was sitting here unplugging the hard drives because it sounded like the hard drives were too loud, and then I was changing all my power plugs and unplugging things. The very last thing I decided to do was to try moving the riser card to a different PCIe slot. My theory and my thinking is the fact that I was putting in and taking out different graphics cards. At some point, I must have partially unseated the riser card, and maybe it was causing some kind of short in the PCI expansion slot, and that caused it to fail. Whatever the case is, it's working now. I'm back up and going. I just did a long test in Superposition Benchmark, as well as ran a couple other benchmarks. It's running fine now, so that'll teach you. That'll show you that it's not easy to diagnose a problem, but you should never just give up either, because I could have went through all the trouble, completely wiped all 4 of my hard drives, and then started over, and then I'd be screwed because I'd have the same problem, and I would have erased terabytes of files, videos, and applications, which would have really pissed me off. So just goes to show you, just because something's working 1 minute doesn't mean it's going to be working the next. So yeah. By the way, you've seen these hanging like this in a couple of videos. That is convenient, isn't it? You just got to make sure you don't hit the fan with them. But yeah, headphone holders. Yay! Because I lost, obviously, all the side of the front real estate from when I used to use the hockey pucks. Doesn't stop me, though. So there you go. If you'd like to subscribe, do that. Become a Patreon. Help me buy some better equipment. Maybe buy another case or another motherboard or another processor or an entire build. Next month I should get a check from YouTube, so why don't we just use that and see what we can build with that money. And check out another video. And as always, talk to you later.